Alright, so where we left off, we had just set up our brand new Squarespace restaurant site. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is just dump in all of our content, which you should already have written up and ready to go. I've got mine right over here, easily accessible along with my sitemap. We're going to be using this as a guide as we start adding content and shaping the site to fit what we need. But it's also important to keep an open mind. Having a plan gives you a really great foundation for a website, but every single project I've ever worked on has had to change and evolve at least a little bit in the development stage. So first of all, let's just take a look at this README page. So this is pretty much an overview of all the different styling customization options you have here and what they correspond to. This is pretty handy, so you may want to wait until you're done editing everything else to delete this. But I'm already pretty familiar with this stuff, so I'm going to get rid of it earlier. But just letting you know that you might want to keep it for reference until you're done. Alright, so now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's start by reorganizing the pages that we have here already. The template that I've chosen is an infinite scrolling site, which means that all of the sections are strung together as one long page. But to make things easier, it looks like Squarespace treats each section as its own page, which is definitely convenient for us. So right off the bat, I'm going to head over here and delete that README file and the drinks menu, which I know already that I don't need. It looks like restaurant corresponds to this introduction section right here, so I'm going to keep that. And gallery I was a little torn on. I considered getting rid of it, but like I said over and over again throughout the course, images are really important. So that being the case, I think that I'll keep it for right now. I think it breaks up the page nicely, and I mean, it's good eye candy, right? You will notice though that if you compare my site outline over here with the way that my website looks right now, I'm actually missing a couple of pages. For example, I don't have that Our Story page on here just yet. So let's go ahead and add one. Let's just hit this Add Section button right over here, and we'll type in our title and hit Enter. And it'll take us to an isolated view of just that section for right now. So from this view, we're just going to add some content. Let's hover over the center of this page and hit the Edit button. See these little bubbly pointer things? We're not going to worry about them right this second, but later on, that's how we're going to insert different blocks or spacers into the content. But for right now, we're just going to start by copying and pasting the content I already have written up. And let's add a header. This section doesn't look too attractive right now though, does it? It's because the line length, meaning the width of the text from left to right, is just too long. So let's break it up by adding an image. Let's click on that little bubbly pointer and select an image. And we want it on the side, not on the top of the text, so it's as easy as just dragging it right over. But doesn't it look a little off balance? So let's again click this little bubbly pointer thing and add a spacer above it to balance things out. There. Now I feel pretty good about the way this section looks, but feel free to experiment on your own with all the different customizations that you can make. We're also missing the Contact Us page. Let's do the same thing again. It should be pretty easy this time. All we have to do is create the new page, insert a contact form, paste my intro content in, and add our address and phone number over here on the side. Very simple. Let's scroll back up to the top and continue inputting the actual content by changing it to the official Goodman Grill logo. All we have to do is head over to this title and click on Edit. Over here, you're going to have a couple of options. You can edit the title and add a tagline, or you can upload your own custom logo. I'm actually going to take a quick detour right over here and head over to this Make a Logo button. Let's check this thing out. So look, here are my thoughts on this little tool. I think it's okay if you want to create something temporary and extremely hipstery. But, like I've said over and over and over again, please, please, please hire a designer to design your branding. This isn't an actual logo. There's no major thought and development behind something like this. So I guess it's okay if you need something temporary, or if you have absolutely no intention of ever having a real branding system made ever. Then fine, go ahead and play around with it. But otherwise, I honestly think it's a waste of time. Alright, so let's get back to the main course here. Let's upload the Goodman Grill logo. By the way, shout out to my friend Evan Boisvert, who designed the logo and all of the companion materials for this restaurant. I'll link to this website below. He's a great designer, and if you're looking for someone to work with, definitely hit him up. Alright, so now we've got an official logo and we're looking more and more professional by the minute. The next step is to start changing copy. I'm going to go ahead and customize the big statement text on this first page. So once again, all we have to do is hover and hit Edit. This is pretty simple. It works just like a text editor. So don't worry about trying to change the styling now or that background image. That we'll handle in the next video, which will be all about styling. So I'm going to change this title to Fresh Local Seafood. And let's change this subheader too. How about Made with Love right here in New England? We'll emphasize that coziness and the strong sense of locale that we talked about in our early notes. So let's just continue to move right down the page here. I've got all of my copy laid out ahead of time, so right now I'm really just copying and pasting in this first section. Pretty easy, right? We're not worried about appearance or styling right now. We're just going to plop that content right in there. Now let's take care of that menu. For the sake of time, I'm not going to have you sit here and watch me update each and every one of these menu items, but let's do one together just to make sure you understand how this works. What's great is that Squarespace uses a type of content block specifically for menus, and it does all of the formatting heavy lifting for you. As long as you follow the format here in the example, everything's going to look great. You can also easily switch from a multi-column layout to a single column layout. But I like the multi-column design more, so I'm going to stick with that. Let's change the section title here to Appetizers, and update this first item here so that you can see how it works. Now let me take a minute to address that reservation box. All you need to use it is an OpenTable account. Now unfortunately, I can't set up a fake one to show you, but it's a really easy to use service. Just head over to opentable.com and sign up. Once you've signed up over there, just paste your account ID into this box here, and you'll have this cool little portal for online reservations right on your website. And with that, we're done putting in all of our content. Really, that was probably the hardest and most time-consuming part of making this website. And that really wasn't bad at all, right? In the next video, we'll go over styling everything. It's a pretty simple process, and it's the last step of your website creation.